Hello, every pony, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because I have a lovely box of coconuts. They're all standing in a row. It's been a while since we did any Power Rangers related stuff. And I think I want to do something short to introduce us to another type of fanfic author I want to illustrate on the show. So without further ado, see here as we hear at the Terryberry Memorial Library, and proud to present Jed's Bachelorette Party by Darian Fox. Which actually sounds more intimidating than it should be. Enjoy. Jed's Bachelorette Party by Darian Fox. Which sounds like a very intimidating name when you think about it. Does he have a mask? Chapter 1. In a restaurant deep in Silver Hills, the Time Force was taking one of the rare few occasions they had time off together to go out and celebrate. Far from any normal time, this was one of the few they had been granted all at the same time, so that Jem could have a bachelorette party. She was sitting in a booth talking to Katie, caressing her slightly swollen stomach. It was now 4 months since they had returned from the past from her mission to Turtle Cove to track the bird talks. She had been deeply affected for a while by her brief union with her beloved Wes. For a while they rekindled what they had once had, but in the end, she had been forced to return to the year 3000. One of the most strongly enforced laws in Time Force was the outright ban of leaving any person or any technology in a time it didn't belong. Should we tell them about a certain child and a certain Super Sentai? Time had already been changed as a result of their actions in the past, and everyone was paranoid about the potential for catastrophe about history to be altered. Lucas's dust fist and her danced with Nadira, kissing her softly, came over to the bar where Trip was just sitting, slugging at another beer. He had been something in a mood for a while now. You know, this is a party, Lucas reminded him. People are traditionally meant to have fun. People usually don't have a party to celebrate, Trip added barely. I don't see anything here to celebrate, do you? Lucas just gave him a little smirk. Nobody liked Dallas, least of all Trip. For some reason, though, his disdain for their superior officer had become more obvious and outspoken. These days, he didn't hide his dislike for him from anyone, not even Alex. He had been spoken to about his attitude a few times now, since he had gotten back together with Jen. Look, I don't like the guy either, but it's Jed's choice, Lucas reminded him. Come on, can't you just drop the attitude for a little while? It's a bachelor party. He's still good for her, Trip snapped. You know that. Jed gets to look after herself. Lucas put down flatly, grabbing Trip's arm. Jed doesn't have a whole lot of friends. That's why we're here. How we feel about Alex doesn't matter. We're here to support Jen. Let me go, Trip hissed. If I buy you a large jack, do you promise to at least not act like an asshole for one toast? He asked him. For her sake? Trip looked away and bit his lip. He hated to think of the fact that Jen was going back to Alex. He tolerated the relationship for the first time because she was a friend. She remembered him with rose-tinted glasses, remembering only the good and noble traits about him. Unfortunately, her love for him had blinded her to some of his less admirable traits. He was cold, bossy, he was a bully. Most of all, unbeknown to her, he could be cruel. Trip had seen the way he treated the other cadets at the academy, while he'd taken Jen under his wing and treated her softly, earning her love. He treated most of the others at best with a brutal, overbearing harshness, and at worst outright brutality. Drip had himself been on the verge of quitting the academy several times because of Alex's attitude. Trip! Lucas snapped as the bartender arrived with the drinks he had ordered while he was lost in thought. Are you going to be cool, or do I need to call you a cab? I'll hold it together, Trip told him, taking his drink as he headed to the table. Hey, another round for the blessing ride, Adira announced as he arrived with a tray of drinks sitting down. Everyone other than Jim and Chip had champagne. Lucas figured, given his obvious problems with Alex, he could do with something stronger. While Jen, due to the pregnancy, was settling for lemonade. Katie, her maid of honor, stood up, tapping her glass. All right, I guess I'm the one to make the speech, Katie announced. We all know we're here. We're all here to wish Jen well on her upcoming wedding. I don't think any of us could have believed it once he got back together with Alex. But given how blessed they've been, the miracle they've been blessed with, Jen giggled a little as Katie patted her belly. Lucas noticed Trip shifting uncomfortably in his seat. He kicked him under a table and reminded him of his promise. And, the speed with which he rediscovered their love and agreed to marry again, I doubt anyone could think of anyone less deserving of their happiness. She quickly raising her glass. To Jen and Alex! To Jen and Alex! The chorus, taking a drink, all except for Trip. He was staring at his glass, his expression one of complete disgust, like someone had asked him to drink his own urine. Jen finally noticed to put down her grin. Trip, what's wrong? She asked him. He's had a long day. Lucas asserted, giving him a hard glare. But he's just tired. Don't make excuses for me, Trip replied, putting his glass down slightly away from him. Trip, I'm sorry, Jen. I can't drink that, he interrupted her. I'm a lot of things, but not a liar. Trip! Katie shrieked. I'm sorry, but I can't sit back and pretend I'm cool with this. He snapped. He threw some cash on the table to cover his share of the bell. Sorry, Jen. I won't be at the wedding. Trip, stop! Jen begged him. Please, you're one of my best friends. It wouldn't feel right if you weren't there. But it isn't right, is it, Jen? He snapped back. We both know that, don't we? She recoiled harder to realize what he meant. Trip, will you be such an asshole? Lucas asked as he got up, grabbing him roughly. You've had a chip on your shoulder for weeks now. Trip tapped the crystal on his forehead with his finger. I'm a Siberian, remember? Sometimes knowing what people think isn't a good thing, Trip answered, looking back at him. Don't any of you see it? Can't you get what's going on? Trip, it's none of your business, Jen told him. It is Alex's business, though, he replied. He has a right to know. A right to know what? Katie asked him. Trip? Think about it, Katie. Don't you think it was a little strange how quick they got back together? He asked her. How quickly Jen announced he was pregnant? Trip, please. You can do what you want in your life, Jen. I can't stop you. But Alex has a right to know, and you know it, he told her. The baby isn't his, it's Wes. With that, he turned to storm around the bar. Jen felt her tears beginning to fall as the others stared at her revelation. She hoped no one would find out. In hindsight, it was unlucky one of her best friends was a Siberian. Her hands cradled her son protectively as she broke down and wept. Chapter 2. The Truth with Jen's Baby. Kate made her way into the girl's room after Trip's outburst. Jen had run in and hiding it for a while. Kate wasn't sure how to react. On the one hand, a large part of her agreed with Trip. It wasn't right that Jen was going to marry Alex just so he didn't have to raise the baby alone, especially when he didn't seem to know that the baby was his. On the other hand, she had also been Jen's best friend for years and could never think of standing against her. She arrived, finding a couple of women standing outside a cubicle, staring at it as a clear, loud sobbing sound came from inside. Full shows overlays, get out here, Kitty warned them. They all turned to look at her. You can get out, or I can throw you out. Which would you prefer? Within seconds, the bathroom was empty, all except for Katie and Jen, who was still in the cubicle crying. Jen, go away, she snapped. You need a friend. What I need is for everyone to stop telling me about what I need, snarled Jen aggressively. Now get out of here! If you want me out, you have to throw me out. Kate stated abruptly as she prepared for a conflict with her closest friend. We both know how that'll end. Katie, just leave me alone! She shrieked. Katie shook her head. I can't do that. You're my best friend, she replied. Now exactly 3 seconds of kicking this door in. You can unlock it yourself or get out of the way. Either way, I'm coming in. Katie heard the locking mechanism trigger, and the door opened. Jen took a seat at the latrine, her tears still running and ruining her makeup. You know, guys, that's an absolutely interesting thing when you think about it. We never actually had a Power Ranger plot or a Super Sentai plot dealing with the Power Rangers having to deal with a pregnancy. I mean, I know it's kind of more mature than for the age group, but think about it. If they could, wouldn't it be kind of interesting to see one of the female Rangers having to deal with that? Random food for thought. Please tell me he's wrong. He's not wrong. I knew about a week after we come back, she confessed to her closest friend. She looked at her ears filled with tears. I need to do this. Jen, I can't just lie to Alex and expect her to raise a kid that isn't his. Kate told her. What the hell were you thinking? What's it thinking? All I knew was I had a right to do right by this baby, she sobbed as she slid out the latrine and curled to a ball. Kate rolled her eyes. What are you talking about? Time Force Regulation 2211089, Subsection 6, Paragraph 12. Sam replied. Kate decided. If a Time Force officer is required to go to another time period, they're forbidden to bring back any item, regardless of form, being mineral, visible, or animal. The worst trail officer finally figured out where Jen's thoughts were going. The baby? She asked. Jen just nodded. What's more of a paradox than a kid whose dad died about 1,000 years ago? Jen asked her. If anyone knew the truth, they abort the pregnancy. Katie gasped, realizing the situation Jen was in. If this suddenly turns into a discussion about abortion, I got the Ajax switch over here, and I'm out. I can't go back. There's no way I could do that without anyone finding out. She sniffed, wiping her nose with her sleeve. I can't let them take the baby, Katie. I just can't. Shan, that grown inside of me for the last 4 months, Katie. It's a part of me. If I tell it, of course, if I don't, and Alice continues to believe me, maybe things isn't right, Jan. Katie interrupted. He needs. I'm not wearing the same rose-tinted glasses as Katie. I know he's an asshole. She stopped before Katie could finish. I know he doesn't deserve this, but he's as valuable as he comes. If you had any idea, I'd be in the abortion clinic before my next breath. Katie looked around, making sure no one was in the room, before coming close to her. Jenny, if you are happy, I will be, she told her. Katie took Jen's hand in her own and held him softly. You can't marry Alex. You know that. I'm going to get you where you need to be. Just then, Trip burst into the girls' room. He looked a little uncomfortable, but understanding the situation. Katie, we'll get you where you need to be, no matter the cost to ourselves. Chapter 3. Jen's Return. Bruno, the barman, was busy cleaning up when Wes staggered in the bar. He just got an over Jen leaving when he came back into his life for that glorious fortnight. He took a seat. Mr. Colden's whiskey, he barked, handing the barman $100 bill. He was never usually one to flaunt or use his father's wealth, but since Jen had left, he didn't care. If anything, it was just a vehicle for his continuing mission to make himself feel numb and nothing. Bring a glass and a bottle. The barman decided what to cut his order. In Silver Hills, in the year 3000, Katie had tripped right into the streets to an apartment block. Katie pounded on the door harshly. Give me a minute, he snapped before ripping the door open. Seeing him standing before him, he knew this wasn't good. What? We need your help, Katie replied. I know, Lucas, we need your help, or some seriously bad shit's gonna go down, Katie told him. Lucas looked a little skeptically at Trip. It wasn't even a full day since he had called him out on the fact that he was about to walk out on Jen's wedding. Don't help. I don't know what's going to happen. Lucas stepped into the hall, pulling the door closed as he did so. The dear was sleeping on his bed, and he didn't want her to disturb. He looked at Jen. What's going on? I asked her. Lucas interrupted Katie as he was about to explain. Jen took a deep breath. Trip was right. The baby isn't Alex's, she told him. You know Time Force regulations. We can't bring back plants, animals. He trailed off as he finally figured out where this was going. You really think? I don't think anything. If they find out, they'll take me straight to the abortion clinic without a second thought, Jen told him. Lucas, I can't let that happen. He shifted a little uneasily as he considered his options. He'd never really been a by-the-book kind of guy, but this was more than he was used to, asking you to commit a felony. However, considering how many felonies Time Force has already committed in the show, Katie, they'll help us. To make Alex finds out, Jen will be taken to a abortion clinic wherever she wants it or not, Katie reminded him. Lucas Weathers and Tierra. She wouldn't be that. This rail straight off as he looked at Jen. Couldn't finish this statement. Just couldn't. The deer was only a couple weeks gone, but she was carrying the first child. That'll make Rancid happy. Couldn't imagine anything happening to her. What can I do? He asked. In the early 21st century, Wes was still sitting in the bar when Eric arrived. Eric, Eric. Sorry, a little fanboyism here. Thank you. He looked at the barman, who just went to a cubicle where Wes was sitting. After a quick nod, he went over to sit down. If you weren't a commanding officer, the Silver Guardians would have kicked you out by now. Fine, kick me out, he replied with a shrug. Wes, I know this thing with Jen is shaking you up, but you need to get a grip, he told his old friend. Why, Eric? What the hell do I have to look forward to? He asked in response. Wes, you have your whole life. I don't have a life without her, Mary in response. Now, unless you're here to drink with me, I have nothing to say. Back into the future. Do 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 no. I said back in the future, not back to the future. Am I working alone here? Kay led the others through the building. They had top-level security clearance, but that didn't mean people wouldn't be curious what they were doing. They had to stop a couple of times as people asked Jen about the wedding, or asked to stroke her belly and when the baby was due. Finally, they got to their hangar, where the time ship was waiting. Jen turned to look to her friends. I can't. You don't need to say it, Trips interrupted her, wiping away a couple of tears. Jen was one of his best friends, and he knew if he said nothing, she would have gone ahead with the wedding and stayed in the year 3000. However, he knew she would have been miserable. I couldn't watch her do that to herself and Alex. Just promise me you'll do the right thing. Jen approached him, kissing his cheek softly. Lucas was busy punching keys in the control system to set the exact time and date of her arrival. So once you get there, you set the charges, Kate reminded her. This ship needs to be vaporized. Nothing can be left. It needs to be completely destroyed. Jen just nodded as her tears began. She knew that if he went ahead with this plan, this was the last time she would ever see her friends. When she went back to the past, she would be a fugitive. While they would erase the records to Sir Alex didn't know exactly where she had gone. She could never return. All right, all of you, hold it right there, Alex yelled as he stepped to the view, holding a gun on. Nobody move, or I will start shooting. Jen turned on towards us with tears in her eyes. Everyone else had their hands up, knowing he was serious. Alex, I just want to hear you say it, Jen, he told her. I just want you to be honest with me for once. Alex, I'm sorry. Just say it, he roared, while his own tears started to roll down his face. How stupid do you think I am, Jen? Do you think I wouldn't figure it out? Alex, I'm sorry. He dropped the blaster on the floor and fell to his knees, weeping loudly. When I figured out the truth, he didn't stop hurting. The woman he loved still tells her to go back into the past with the child she had made with another guy. Jen approached him, stroking his shoulder softly. Alex, I love you. I always will, she told him. But you know me. You know I can't let them take my baby. Alex got up, making his way over to her, looked quivering as he did so. You never loved me, did you? He asked her. Jen shook her head. Alex, what we had was really special, she began. I'm sorry, but you know what will happen if I stay. Alex just nodded before kissing his fiancée. I'll always love you, he whispered. But because I love you, I can't ask you to stay. Thank you. She breathed as Lucas finished the final preparations. She stepped into the time ship and disappeared, leaving them forever. Despite his feelings for a superior officer, Trip couldn't help but pound him in the back as Alex broke into tears. Back in the early 21st century, Wes was still sitting in the bar, slugging whiskey as he arrived. So he was slugging whiskey and rye, singing, This'll be the day I die. And we were singing, my, is a West guy. She couldn't help smiling as she saw him. Her heart soared to see him. After detonating the time ship, she knew it wasn't possible to go back to the future. But seeing her beloved West, She knew she had made the right choice. As he prepared to pour another glass, she put her hand over the glass. His gaze followed up her arm, onto her face. "Jen?" he asked her. She just nodded before stroking her stomach. For Wes, it had only been a couple of weeks since he left, but for her it had been 4 long months. "Yes, I'm back," she told him. "I'm not going away again." "You're pregnant?" he gasped. She nodded again. "For months," she told him. "Wes, I know I treated you badly." She didn't need to let her finish. He just pulled her into his lap and kissed her deeply. The woman he loved had returned to him. There was nothing he could have wanted more. The end, and I just want to point out that I've already reviewed this on in the comments about, well, 4 years ago. It had been a while. Um, but in short, really good fic. I enjoyed it immensely. Enjoyed it a lot. Short, sweet. I like that Jen was a DID, and I like that Alex took the news rather well and was actually portrayed as kind of sympathetic, as he wasn't completely evil or turned completely wrong. And I was kind of understanding, and I like that type of position. It's very original, and any lesser fic would have just gone for the is that Alex bad, what's good, in order to make this work as a story. Of course, anybody with a brain can tell you don't need to do that when it comes to your shipping. I only wish other ships could understand that. I also enjoy the feelings and the raw emotions here. And this author is really good when it comes to his Power Rangers fics. One of the reasons why I picked this story is because I want to kind of give you guys an introduction to maybe a story you might want to do later on. This guy did what I like to call Megaforce and Super Megaforce done right, with some really excellent stories. Just trust me, these things blow the Power Rangers, Megaforce, and Super Force out of the water. But I'll be getting to that. Well, now, that's more to go. See you next time.